So is school a scam? Normally when a topic like this appears, you would assume I'm referring to college or university, tax-free businesses that you directly pay money to in order to attend. But this time I'll be directly addressing why I feel school is a scam. So first of all, let's define
what scam is.
Yeah. So first of all, let's define what a scam is. A scam is something or someone that dishonestly takes something away from you or tricks you into believing something which results in you losing something. So you may be asking in that case, what is school taking away from us? And the answer is time. I'm sure all of you know that time is money. And the more time that is taken away from us, the more money that we lose. The more time that you invest into something, whether that be learning a new skill or working on a new strategy to approach something, typically results in financial gain. An example of this would be, let's say, entrepreneurial skills. The more time you invest into learning about marketing and improving your copywriting skills, the more successful you're likely to be in that specific area. So this proves to us that the more time invested in one area results in more gain, whether that be mental, spiritual, financial, that you get. So back to the point. Why does this mean that school is a scam? Well, at school, we're all encouraged right from the start, and I'm sure none of you would disagree, we have to invest our time, our valuable time, which is something we can never get back, into multiple subjects. Maths, history, science, German. But the question is, why? See, if history proves to us that the most successful people, the free and wealthiest people, aren't those who are master at all trades, but rather the people who focus on one thing, that one thing they constantly feel an itch to fulfill and master, and they do whatever it takes to fulfill that destiny that they were created for. And we also have to remember that history is continually repeated, in the sense that whatever happened to your father or your ancestors is typically what's going to happen to you. Moments of joy and situations where you feel depressed. We can see this theory among some of the most successful people in the world, like the founder of IKEA, Warren Buffett, Henry Ford, Richard Branson, and Alex Phillip. If you were to give any of these people a 50-question quiz on history, English or German, I doubt any of them would get many questions right. But the point is, they don't have to, because they realize that the only thing they have to work on is whatever their purpose is. Now, I'm not against education itself. There's no harm in knowing the answers to these questions. But again, if the time that we invested into learning these things was actually spent on mastering just one thing, would be much more successful in life. Now, going back to the point of why in the first place do we invest our time in what we don't need, I believe that this stems directly from our parents and the creators of the school system itself. Because for hundreds and hundreds of years, we all know that people have gone to school to get a good or bad job, and we presume that's exactly what we need to do. But if we were to take a step back and look at an overview of the system and what it's actually producing, you'd find out that most people don't make it past a £40,000 a year job income. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be capped by a number like that. So really, it's a school system that gives us the mentality that caps most people from fulfilling their potential. And that is why I believe school is a scam.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh.
So now, what am I proposing as an alternative? What we can do instead of following the system, well, at the moment, the only option would be to break away from the system and the limiting beliefs that our parents and school has put on us. However, this of course will be incredibly hard, because it's only human to be afraid of what other people might think of us, and we could be scared of the uncertainty ahead. So what I would see as an alternative is setting up schools or academies where instead of encouraging our kids to participate in multiple subjects, we encourage them to find that main niche that they were created for and have a destiny to fulfill in. So the way this would work is until year 6 we would have a normal schooling system in place, But at that age, pupils would have an option to be asked what they really want to do and do in life. And from there, they would invest all their time into that one thing. So if someone really wants to be a footballer, then I guess all you would do was training. But of course, they will be taught some other essential skills. And you can think of it as A-levels, where you pick 3 or 4 subjects, but it starts in year 6, and it won't really be subjects, but topics, and only 1 or 2. So another objection that might arise is, how can we trust our kids to make big decisions about the future? But the question is, why not? The reason we think our kids can't make these decisions is simply because we don't believe in them. Did you know that according to scientific research, the average human only uses 4% of their brain's potential, meaning we are undermining ourselves and our capacity? We need to start training the young generation to start thinking big and differently. You may have heard the saying, stupidity is doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results, said by Albert Einstein. Just let that sink in for a moment. For hundreds and hundreds of years, putting people through a so-called flawless system but yet all you get out is a bunch of educated derelicts. And no offence, but the thing is that 99% of people in this country are a part of that group. So my final point would be, what I have in mind as a proposal is probably not it. It's a work in progress, but the thing is, for sure, it is better than the current system in place. Thank you.
Right then, thank you. You go.
So what would happen if, say, halfway through school you decided you really hated the topic you chose? What would happen?
Oh, then you would have an option to change. So it's not like, so you'll be taught like different fields, and when you get an experience, a taste of everything, you make a decision, and you can always change.
And that decision would take place in year 6?
Oh yeah, so what would happen is they have an option to choose in year 6, and let's say if you, like some people might just say Xbox game or something, then we would continue that same system until year 9.
What, to just sit and play Xbox?
No, I mean the normal school system to year 9, and that's when like most people get a better idea of really what they want to do, and they're more mature.
Okay, yeah, off you go.
You said something about people only using 4% of their brain, but how? I don't think that's true. Where do you get that?
Oh yeah, it's Oxford research, Oxford University research, and it says that most people are not. Most people are only like using 4% of their brain for daily functions.
Okay.
So you seem to equate potential and happiness and the future with making money, because you said that if more people learned marketing and copywriting.
That was like the example. So like for people
I see,
who want to be an entrepreneur, if they learn those things.
But what if some people don't?
So let's say if you want to be an author, then you constantly learn how to write or present your books and stuff like that.
Okay, alright. Yeah.
Would you say then that there should be a wider range of subjects up to year 6, so like they get an opportunity to try everything, so when they have a choice to choose what they want to focus on, they've like had all the options?
Yeah, I think we should broaden out the subjects, because right now we're only limited to whatever current options are in place. But if someone wants to do something totally unique, then we have to allow space for that, because also just go against the new system itself. So yeah, I believe we should have more.
Don't you think it would be difficult to fund such a diverse range of activities?
How we're going to fund it is, I believe, initially funding from just people who believe in the cause itself, like me or other people. And as we start getting results, or people start seeing what the system is doing, and it gains more public interest, then they can also decide to fund it.
So you're obviously expecting charitable funding from people who have...
Yeah, not exactly charitable, but...
Investments?
I guess you're investing in your child's future, so...
Oh, so you're asking the parents?
The parents can do it, but parents won't send them if they don't believe in it, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tom?
How do you stop kids from just choosing to play football or choosing to do?
So most kids would say,
Yeah,
a lot
Well,
of kids,
what if, but like year six, often kids still aren't mature enough to
yeah, I want
choose.
to be an astronaut. or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
So I believe we have to also teach them how to really think for themselves and look inside themselves for the right answer, which is something we have to incorporate, because right now we're not exactly taught or we ask ourselves that often, what do I want to do in the future? But I believe if we have people who challenge us and teach us how to do that, then they can be more mature in their decision choosing.
Okay, anybody else got any other questions? So if somebody just doesn't want to make money in the future, so do you not think the education system, you think it's a means to an end, and that end is to make money?
I'm not particularly saying money, I mean like overall fulfillment. So when I said gain, I said it can be a mental, spiritual or financial, because some people don't only want to make money. Like people like Elon Musk, he just wants to, he wants to go to Mars, but it's not because he wants to make money from it. He wants to help other people. So I think if you want to have a bigger impact in life, then you have to be more focused and niche down on what you're doing.
With regards to employers then, how would they assess somebody's suitability if you wouldn't have a certificate at the end?
Yeah, that was another question that came up, but I think if you're really good at something, then you don't need a piece of paper to validate what you do. Your skills itself can be shown, and employers can pass that.
Like, so say someone's awful at something, how do you stop them if you're just telling them to do whatever they want to do? So say someone's awful at what they choose, what they like to do, then how do you stop them?
I mean, everyone's awful at what they want to do initially, because no master begins a master, but it's only us teaching them and training them that they can become good.
They'd be so far behind that they'd have to go to a different school perhaps.
Now, as long as it's not like we're forcing them to be at this certain level, we're forcing them to do their best. So whatever their best is, that's what we do.
Wouldn't that be even more expensive than you already suggested because of how many resources, because of the different levels everyone would be at?
Yeah, I guess it would be expensive, but again, there are going to be loads of people who support the system, because we're not exactly changing education itself, because education is what I'm for as well, but we're changing the way that's taught, so people will still be behind it. And
Okay, you could just stop that now.